The State Department, for its part, is calling Russia's deepening alliance with Iran a profound threat to the U.S. and to the world. CNN has learned from two sources that Iranians are in Crimea training Russian military on how to use drones built in Iran.
It's believed that hundreds of these Iranian-made drones have been launched against Ukrainians in Russia's renewed assault. One source said that dozens of Iranian personnel had been sent to Crimea after Russians experienced numerous failures in testing and deploying the weapons. CNN has reached out to the Iranian mission at the United Nations for a response. Let's talk about all this now with retired Army Major General James Spider Marks, a CNN military analyst. General, good to see you again. Let me start here with this declaration of martial law. These four areas, they already have Russian-installed civilian leadership. There's already a strong Russian military presence there. How much does this declaration change daily life for the Ukrainians who are living in these regions?
Victor, I think it changes it very little. Look, we've seen the Russian forces have demonstrated what they're capable of doing on the ground. I don't think that this declaration alters any of that. I think what really Putin is trying to do with this declaration is to create a military isolation zone. He's limited movement within Russia along the border area. And then within these four annexed areas, or at least he's declared that they're annexed, clearly they're being contested, quite effectively being contested, is he's creating this isolation zone where it's almost like anything goes. Look, there are rules that govern combat. We know that. There's the moral application of force. We know that. The Russians don't abide by any of this. And so I think this is Putin's effort again. His primary audience is a domestic internal audience. And he is declaring that he's trying to make it crystal clear that this is a military operation. We want to make sure everybody can move off the streets, can have their safe and security zones, but the military is going to be conducting operations. The world, the external audience, the world understands that this is nonsense, and we've been seeing this for quite some time. So I think it's truly an effort on his part to try to work his domestic audience.
Doesn't it also raise the question, though, of whether Putin and Russia, the forces on the ground, are actually having trouble controlling those areas? If they have to go to this step, what does that really say?
Well, they've got a new commander in charge, the butcher in Syria. He's now in charge in Ukraine. He is truly a World War I butcher when you look at that type of warfare that he's conducted and what took place in Syria when Russian forces went into Syria to back the Assad regime. I mean, it's just complete criminality and brutality, and we're seeing that played out right now in Ukraine. Russia realizes that its military is in a very tough spot because they've demonstrated their incredible incompetence. It's exposed to the world, and primarily it's exposed to Xi Jinping in China, who's whispering, if not whispering, he's speaking very loudly into Putin's ear saying, look, buddy, let's get this thing over with. This is bad for business. China views the world through a business transactional filter. You're making it bad for business. Get this thing over with. Let's double down. But I also think he's saying, look, don't pull a nuke out because that gets everybody involved in this mess.
What's your assessment of the up to 60,000 people who are being relocated out of the Kherson region? The Russians are saying that this is an evacuation to protect these people from some Ukrainian attack. There's no indication that the Ukrainians are attacking their own people. But what do you make of the relocation and the justification?
Yeah, the relocation is simply an effort on Putin's part to reduce the possibility of collaboration. That's the way I view it. The methodology is whatever he wants to make of it. Again, the narrative is he's doing it for the protection of the civilians, and we see this for what it really is. He wants to move these folks out of the way. He wants to continue his brutal campaign, his indiscriminate application of force. If the civilians don't get out of the way, they're going to be casualties. So there's, again, not a good news story in any of this. I think it's clearly an effort to reduce the potential for collaboration.